All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Welcome. It's Hot Seat Coaching today. So excited to be with you all. All right. Just letting everybody hop in here. Look at everybody. Woohoo. So nice to see you all. Okay. So let's see. What is coming up? So if there's something that's coming up that you would like to perhaps be coached on, feel free to put that in the chat. So if you have your hand raised, put it in the chat about what that is. And just want to let you know that I'd love to work with all of you today, and there can be only one for the purposes of today. Okay. So if you'd like to submit something to possibly be coached on today, put that in the chat. Just reading everything right now to see what we've got coming up. Okay. Well, so I'm going to take it to mean that if you put a message in the chat and you are talking about something that's coming up for you that you would like to be possibly coached around, that means that you are giving permission to be coached today. Okay, so if anybody put things in the chat that they're like, just kidding, I don't want to be coached around that today, then please put that in the chat real quick. Otherwise, you have the possibility of getting asked to come on today. So, Ruth, I'm curious, Ruth, if you would be willing to come on today, because you did put something in the chat there, and beautiful. All right, so Ruth, let's bring you in. Hello.
Hello, hello.
Hi, Ruth. How are you doing today?
Yeah, good, thank you. Yes, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. I think
Good.
this is probably the first time that we've talked, so it's very exciting
Yes.
working with you today. All right, so Ruth, then what would be the most valuable thing for us to talk about today?
Well, I've been teetering on the brink, I feel like, of really launching myself and my message and my mission to help women to find love. And it's women who have come through marriage and been on the other side, and they don't believe it exists for them. So I have written a press release with the help of a friend who's very good at that sort of thing. And I have it sitting ready to send to a local media outlet. And I'm just going, oh my God, what happens if I can't cope with it? You know, what happens if rejection is one thing, and that's fine. And I think part of me might feel relieved if that's the case. And part of me goes, yeah, but what if it takes off? What if people go, yeah, well, that sounds like me. I need help. And will I be able to cope with that? So I've suffered with the consequences of failure, or not failure, because I don't regard it as failure. It's just things that haven't worked yet. And so I'm kind of used to that, you know, the knockbacks and the non-responses and the no's. I'm used to that, and I'm okay with that. But I'm now getting to the point where I'm thinking, come on, you know, I have been banging on this door for long enough, so it's time that I stepped up and did what I came here to do, what I believe anyway.
Yeah.
And yeah, so but this is also this part of me going, oh my God, will I be able to cope?
Well, that makes sense, right? I think this is exciting. This is really exciting for
I
you,
think
Ruth.
there is a lot of excitement about the possibility, but there's a bit of terror there as well.
Yeah. So then, given all of that, Ruth, what would you want to have by the end of this call?
I think the faith and the certainty in my own ability, because there's another little voice, I think it's the inner critic going, yeah, but, you know,
Oh,
you haven't
yes.
actually done this. You know, you've coached a bit here, you've coached a bit there, but you haven't taken anybody through the whole process. And
Mhm.
what if you can't? What if it doesn't get the result that you think it's going to get them?
Yeah. Beautiful. So then on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being not at all, 10 being totally, where are you at on that faith and certainty in your ability right now?
I think I'm probably at a 5.
Okay. So then where would you want to be by the end of this call?
Oh, I'd love to be at a 10.
Wouldn't we all? Wouldn't we all? And I just want you to just check in. So just take
Yeah.
a moment and just check in. Knowing that you're at a 5 right now, do you believe that 10 is realistic?
I'm going to say yes,
Okay.
because
Beautiful.
I'm speaking for everybody else. I'm seeing some of the comments, and I'm speaking for us all. So
Mm,
this is to get us all to a 10, okay?
yeah. Yes, beautiful. All right. So then Ruth, right? You're teetering on that launch.
Hmm.
You're kind of back and forth, right? Really, and your message is important to you. It really sounds very important to you.
Yes.
Yeah. So knowing that this message is important to you and you haven't yet launched that.
Hmm.
So how is that a problem?
I don't want to feel that I've wasted the last few years on my own journey and all the effort I've gone to, you know, get qualifications This journey with Genius Unlocked took me a year, and I've loved it. And I'm thinking this has to be the catalyst. This has to be, because it's such an all-encompassing methodology and ethos and all that. It cannot be for nothing. So I feel like the onus is on me. It's my responsibility. It's part of why I'm here. It's part of the journey that I went on through my it was a very challenging marriage and a very, very challenging divorce. And then subsequently, lots of things happened to really knock me back. But I'm still standing. So there must be a reason for that.
Yeah. So knowing that there must be a reason for that, right? This can't be nothing. And you're still teetering on launching. What are your negative thoughts and emotions?
Well, I think I said earlier, there is this little inner critic voice going, yeah, but can you really do this? Or do you just think you might be able to?
Yeah.
Uh, hmm.
When you question that, when can you really do this? When you think that, what do you feel?
In some way, there's a portion of me that feels like a fraud. Although less so now that I've done Genius Unlocked. Well, the first stage anyway, activate. Yeah, and my financial situation is really quite onerous at the moment. So I'm thinking this has to work, if no other reason than, well, the most important reason is because I believe in it, and I believe that I have something to offer these women who don't believe that love exists for them anymore.
Yeah.
And
But then
and
that part of you that thinks that you're a fraud, right? Can you really do this? And I might actually be a fraud. When you think that, what do you feel?
I feel disappointed. I feel that, what is all my experience been about?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
because I feel like destiny plays a big part in our stories,
Yeah.
and um I've always felt that, and
Yeah.
I don't want to feel like a waste of space.
Mm. So when you think that you might be a waste of space and you're feeling disappointed, what do you do?
Well, sometimes if I'm feeling less um, confident, then I retreat into my shell. And I've done quite a lot of that in the last few years.
Yeah.
When I'm feeling bolder, then I do get out there and I do post on social media, but nobody responds. So
Of
I'm thinking,
course.
well, what am I doing wrong?
Well, and anyone that might think that they're a fraud, question whether they can really do that, might attract people that aren't going to respond, right? Even when they put themselves out there.
Good point.
So when you think that, you might be a fraud and that, you're feeling that less confident, you might feel disappointed in your retreating. What do you take that to mean about yourself?
That I'm letting my life slide by, and I don't want to do that. It makes me really angry,
Yeah.
think that
So,
I'm wasting time.
yeah. And so when you think that you're wasting time and you're just letting this life slip by and you're feeling that anger, what do you take that to mean about yourself?
I take it to mean that I have what it takes and I'm getting in my own way.
So when you know that you have what it takes and you're getting in your own way, What does that represent?
It represents two sides of the same coin. You know, the part of me that is confident and knows that I have something important to say,
Yeah.
and how I can help people. And the other part is, why don't you just go and do something else?
So let's talk to that part that thinks, why don't you just go do something else? Can you really do this? I mean, comfortable with failure, right? Let's talk to that part right now.
Okay.
So if you were to go out and do this, really do this, knowing that it's time to step up, what are you most afraid of?
That's a really good point. That's a really good question. I'm afraid. It sounds crazy. I'm afraid of being a massive success.
Yeah. And so if you were a massive success, how would that be a problem?
I don't have any support. I don't have a support system. And I think that terrifies me as well, not having anybody right by my side
Yeah.
to, bounce ideas off, or who gives me, real feedback. Because I don't want people just go, oh yeah, that's great, or you're
Yeah.
doing, yeah, that's a big hole in my life.
So when you don't have that support system, it's kind of terrifying that you don't have that support system. And when you need that real feedback and you don't have somebody to be there, what do you take that to mean about yourself?
Well, there's a part of me that thinks, it goes back to the fraud thing, that I'm not in integrity. If I'm talking about love and I don't have somebody like that beside me, I could
Oh,
have, but nobody comes up to scratch. So
yeah, yeah. So what does that represent? That, you feel you're out of integrity. You could have somebody to be there with you, but nobody really comes up to scratch. So what does that represent?
it represents me kind of guarding myself and protecting myself.
Yeah.
And I know I'm capable of
Oh, I know you.
much more.
Yeah.
But
And let's talk to that part that doesn't believe that you're capable of so much more.
mm,
Okay. So when you're guarding and you're protecting yourself, what do you take that to mean about you?
that I haven't met the right person yet.
Mhm. And so what do you take that to mean, that you really haven't been able to meet that right person yet?
Well, he's taking his time. I don't know where he is, but he needs to come and find me.
Okay. So if you know that that person's really just taking their time, they just need to find you. How if at all are you not willing to find yourself?
I think I pretty much know who I am. And
So
hmm,
then if you know what you really know who you are and what you are, then what's stopping you really? What's really stopping you?
um, I, I, I suppose I'm not putting out the right vibes.
Mhm. Yeah. So what do you take that to mean about yourself, that you're not putting out the right vibes?
that I need to I don't know. This is a strange one, because in lots of ways I'm very adventurous and I'm very open, but there's the inner sanctum, and I don't let people in the inner sanctum very easily.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you were to open up that inner sanctum, what would you be most afraid of?
I wouldn't be afraid at all if it was the right person.
So then what's stopping you?
I think I keep thinking I need to concentrate on my professional life first. I need to make inroads in that department before because I've been on the love train, as it were, uh, in the last 6 months, and I was doing quite well. I was with this guy for like 6 months, and then I woke up one morning and I thought, I'm not actually in love with him. Do I love him? No. Bye bye. So, um, I was very strategic in how I found him, but I realized that he wasn't what I wanted. So what do I take it to mean about myself? That I have quite high standards, quite high requirements.
Yeah. Okay. So how, if at all, does that relate back this this having this inner sanctum, having this high standard? How, if at all, does that relate back to knowing whether or not you could actually cope with massive success?
Yeah, maybe I'm just kind of making this all up in my head. Maybe just starting small will be enough. That I could cope with, and then maybe it will lead to other things. So I don't know. I create a lot of stories in my head. So, and I keep thinking I
Well,
think I should be more
you're not
realistic.
alone. You're not alone with making up lots of stories in your head, Ruth. Everybody does. Everybody makes up stories in their head.
Thank you. I'm glad I'm not the only one.
Perfectly normal. It's perfectly normal. So, so let's just think about starting out small.
Okay.
If you were to start out small,
Mm.
because you know that you have these high standards, how would that be a problem?
I don't think it would be a problem. I think maybe that would be something that I could handle, and I could grow into that role in a way that is steady and natural, and I'd be excited to be learning as I'm doing it. So
Cool. So what stopped you from starting small up until now?
I think there's just this, it's so paradoxical, not wanting to be visible, but as a friend of mine said, you can't be a success and be a secret.
Yeah. Yeah. So when you think
Hmm.
about having to be visible, then
Yeah.
what are your negative thoughts and emotions?
Oh my God, I've got so many wrinkles. I'm so old.
So you're too old. So when you think you're too old, what do you feel?
I feel like, this is unfair. Because in my head, I feel about 24, 25.
Yeah. So when you think that this is really just unfair, what do you feel?
Um, but then there's a part of me that says, no, because there's so many parts here going on.
I love you, Ruth. You're amazing. This is so fun.
No, because there's part of me thinks, well, I am my ideal client,
Yeah,
who and so who gives a shit how old you are? I mean,
yeah.
my grandfather was 98 when I went to visit him in a nursing home, and he introduced me to his girlfriend, who was 100.
I love
And
that.
they were just so gorgeous together. They did the crossword every day, and they chatted about the old days. It
Yeah,
was it's amazing.
that's wonderful. That's really interesting, right? That you have longevity in your family, and yet, you think you might be wasting time, and life is just slipping away, slipping away.
Yes, I
Oh,
know. But do you know what? I get really frustrated because I have been so freaking patient for so long with
yeah,
all the stuff that's hit me, and I'm still here, right? So
yep,
I'm thinking I have learned to be patient, but now I'm going, yeah, but I've been patient for the longest time,
yeah.
and
So when you
now,
think, oh my gosh, I've been patient forever. I've been patient for the longest time,
like, come on. I know,
right? That
but
like
I'm
this,
kind of,
like, come on, now's the time to step up. What am I supposed to? I meant to do that.
yes. Yeah, so I'm frustrated with myself. I'm frustrated that I'm kind of in my own way,
Yeah,
and knowingly so. And it's like I have these conversations with myself. Come on, Ruth, come on, get
yeah.
yourself together. Pull yourself together. You
So
can do this. And I'm going, yeah, but oh God, I don't really
I'm
want to go
curious,
public.
and this might seem odd, and let's just go with it. So when was the first time that you perhaps thought that you were a waste of time?
Um, I don't think I ever thought I was a waste of time. I thought from a very early age that I didn't really fit in anywhere.
Yeah,
I call myself a floating voter. I'm very good at sort of being the social butterfly and going between different groups of people that have different interests, and I fit in easily. I'm a kind of a chameleon, right?
yeah. So
And
when
and
you
I
think you really don't fit in, you kind of thought that maybe you didn't fit in. What are your negative thoughts and emotions about yourself?
um I kind of like that. I
Yeah.
like not fitting in. I like not being pigeonholed.
Mm,
But the other part of it is, you know, that I don't allow myself to get really attached to a group or a person. So I kind of I s- I stay isolated. That's my own doing.
yeah. Yeah. So when you're isolated, you don't allow attachment. What do you take that to mean about yourself?
I wonder if I'm capable of it.
Yeah. Yeah. So how would it be a problem if you weren't capable?
That could be a massive problem.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you had that really big problem, this massive problem that you're incapable, what would you take that to mean about yourself?
I'm not normal.
Yeah. And so if you're not normal, what would that mean about you?
I'm playing at life.
Yeah. And if you're just playing around at life, and you're not normal and you're incapable. How is that a problem?
Well, I would like to be 100% vulnerable
Yeah.
and open and genuine and have that real connection
Yeah.
with, with somebody romantically.
Yeah.
That I think that would open up a lot of other things for me. But because I don't believe that I've met anybody in that category, then that's what keeps me kind of contained, if you like.
Yeah. Yeah. So because you want to be this 100% vulnerable and open and genuine, and you're just not able to be that, what does that mean about you?
That I'm quite difficult to get to know on a
Mhm.
really deep level.
Yeah. And so if you're really difficult to get to know on that deep level, what do you take that to mean about yourself?
Well, I think it's a self-protection
Yeah.
mechanism.
Yeah. So when was that first time that you needed protection and you didn't get it?
Well, two events come to mind. One was when we went to pick up my sister. I was 2.5, and she had arrived. But but I remember going to this place to collect my sister, and I see it vividly in my head, and
Yeah.
I was horrified, because I was the center of my parents' world, and all of a
Yeah.
sudden, my nose was out of joint, and there was this screaming, bawling child, with
Yeah.
hair all over the place, and
Yeah.
yeah, and they said, "This is your new sister," and inside I'm going, "What? I don't want a sister."
Yeah. Yeah. So during that time, what were you, when you needed that protection and you had now this brand new sister, what were your negative thoughts and emotions?
I don't like this. I don't like having to share attention and
Yeah.
affection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so when you know that you don't like to have to share this attention and affection, what do you feel?
Um, well, maybe there's something wrong with me. Maybe I'm not good enough.
Yeah. And if, because you have to share, there's something wrong with you, there might be something wrong with you, and you're not good enough. What do you take that to mean about yourself?
Well, when I was 7, I was told that I'd been adopted, and I was adopted at a very early age. And for a 7-year-old, that's really confusing
Yeah.
to be told that your mum and dad are not really your mum and dad, but they are. And it really wrecked my head. But because I was terrified of being sent back or sent away or given to somebody else,
Yeah.
I thought I had so many questions, and I was so curious about everything. And the information was delivered like that: you were adopted, and your mum couldn't look after you, so we love you very much, and we wanted to keep you. But there was always that doubt. Well, what if they don't? What if they send me back? And where will I go? And who will love me? And all these different things. And why? Why did it happen? None of those questions were answered. And so I kind of shut up shop.
Yeah.
And everything was internalized because I didn't want to upset anybody, and I didn't want to be sent back somewhere, and I didn't want to be rejected. So, yeah.
Yeah. So then what did you take that to mean about yourself? That when you found out that you were adopted, you had that doubt, question about who would love me.
Yeah. So why was I given away? What
Yeah.
was wrong with me?
Yeah. Yeah. So when you think that something might be wrong with you and you know that you were given away, what do you take that to mean about yourself?
Well, I've reconciled it because I actually found my birth parents, who were both in America. And my birth mother, she died just before Christmas. But I had met her and stayed with her, and it, it went so well. Honestly, it was like a film. It was like a script from a movie. And we met at Miami airport, and we hugged, and we were both in tears for about a quarter of an hour without even speaking a word. It was just
Yeah,
amazing.
I love
And
that. So
she
I
had
want you
waited.
now, let's just take a moment. I'm sorry. I just want to make sure to support you to get to the other side. Okay. Would that be all right?
Yeah.
Okay. So when you think back about that time that you found out that you were adopted and then before that when you had to go pick up your new sister, what did you need that you didn't get?
Just to know that I was enough, that I didn't have to prove anything. I think that's where my people pleasing tendencies started. And to know that it's safe to be me,
Yeah.
and the people that love me will love me no matter what. But yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So when you know that you're enough and you don't have anything to prove and that you have safety and that people will love you no matter what do you have?
I have that certainty and faith in myself.
So because you didn't have that certainty, you didn't have that faith, you didn't have that safety, what were the qualities and characteristics of yourself that you suppressed?
I didn't feel safe to be myself. I kind of put on a facade,
Yeah.
and
So if
and
you were to be yourself, what were
yeah.
those qualities and characteristics of yourself?
Oh, somebody, I mean, I think I'm playful and a bit wild and a bit unpredictable. And yeah, I love adventure, you know.
Yeah.
I don't like playing it safe.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're that playful, wild, unpredictable, adventurous, right? Yeah. So when you're able to have, when you have that faith, that certainty, you have that safety, you know that you have nothing to prove because you are enough and you get to be that playful, wild, unpredictable, adventurous self. When you get to be all of that, what do you have?
I have the permission to go out there and just shine.
Yeah.
We all have the ability to go out there and just go, hey world, here I am, this is me.
Yeah.
I I think that would be just amazing to feel that and to not care, who says what, or because I've been terrified of what people might say and
Yes.
what they might think for
Yeah.
most of my life. And that I want to get rid of that. I really
Yeah.
do.
So when you know that you have that permission to just go out and shine, right? And you get to not care about what people say because you know you're enough and you don't have to prove anything and it's safe to do that and you have certainty and faith and you get to be playful and wild and adventurous and unpredictable. When you get to have and be all of that, what do you feel?
Amazing.
How specifically do you feel amazing? What do you feel in that amazing?
A relief that I don't have to pretend to be somebody I'm not. I don't have to conform to anybody's idea of who I should be and how I should be.
Yeah.
Uh, it's like just letting the rules go and just living life on my terms.
Oh, yeah. So when you have that amazing relief of just knowing that you can live life on your own terms, right? Letting those rules go, you don't have to pretend or conform to anything. What are the qualities and characteristics of someone who has all of that and gets to feel that playful, uncertain, unpredictable, adventurous security that they have? What are
Yeah.
all the qualities and characteristics of someone like that?
Somebody who is whole in themselves.
Mm,
Somebody who is balanced and wise and uh, has a connection to spirit, because I think for me that plays a large part in who I am, is that connection and the knowledge that I'll be okay no matter what.
yeah. Yeah. So when you have that safety and that certainty and that faith and belief that you are going to be okay no matter what, because you are enough, you have nothing to prove, right? And you get to be playful and wild and unpredictable and adventurous because you have permission to go out and shine. And you know that that's amazing. And you're feeling whole and balanced and wise and so connected to spirit. When you're being all of that, what will be different?
I won't give two hoots about, about sending off letters and going on the local radio station or talking to groups of people. And it won't all probably be that easy, but I will it will give me a boost in order to power through those moments where there will be disappointments, there will be letdowns, there will be people that say no, there will be, opportunities that fall through or whatever. But I think with that certainty and that faith, then I it won't be a disappointment. It will be, oh well, move on. What's the next thing?
Sure.
And I think
Yeah,
I will have that energy to keep me going.
love that. So then when you have that energy, right, and you know that you're enough and you don't have to prove anything, and you get to just let all those rules go because you are safe and certain, you're in faith and you're connected to spirit and you're feeling whole and balanced and wise, and you get to be that playful, wild, unpredictable, adventurous self that you are, then what are what are all those new qualities and characteristics that you're going to be? And with all of those, what are your positive thoughts and emotions about yourself?
I think I'm going to be unstoppable. I think I'm going to be determined. I'm going to be uh, more confident that I can do what I hope I can do. So
And so,
it will shut up that inner critic that always likes to have the last word.
so then what are those new positive thoughts and emotions that you have about yourself now that you're being unstoppable and determined and that confident that you know you are?
What do I have, did you say?
What are your new positive thoughts and emotions about yourself?
Well, I haven't come this far to only come this far. So,
Mm.
so my positive emotions are, yes, I can do this. It's like a renewed, thank you, a renewed faith in myself and confidence that I can do this, that there is no reason for me not to. and that it is, yeah, it's something that I can do.
Yeah, beautiful. So then, given all of these new learnings, how does that apply back to that teetering on launching that message?
Well, I think that was a, sometimes I think spirit likes to give you challenges to see if you're really, really committed. So I've had a few of those, and the internal barriers are, they're prone to popping up, but they've been lowered now. So yeah, I feel much renewed and reinvigorated and determined. So thank
Awesome.
you.
Yeah, absolutely. So with this knowing that you have this reinvigorated, unstoppable, determined confidence and all your learnings, what's going to be different?
I think I'll be more focused on what is going to move the needle, because I seem to have been, and I'm sure other people can resonate, you try a bit of this and you get moderate success or maybe no success, so you go and try and do something else, and then you try and do 3 things at once and you don't do any of them fully. And I think what I will probably do now is decide on a course of action that I'm going to do and see it through, rather than being a floating voter.
Love it. So by when do you want to decide on a course of action?
Well, right now, I'm going to write that email to the local press.
Awesome. Yay. That's wonderful. So where are you at now on that faith and certainty in your own ability?
I think I'm at a 10.
I think you're at a 10.
Yes.
I love that. And you are going to take that action and send off that email like
Yeah.
right now or right when we are off and we hit send. Yes. I love that.
Thank you, Kate. She says, just send it. Don't let your inner critic have time to talk you
Well,
out.
and you totally can do that in just a moment. So, Ruth, is there anything else that you would like to discuss right now for you to feel whole and complete?
No, I think that's shifted me considerably. So thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome. It's been my pleasure. Beautiful. So, would it be okay now? Then we'll just move into any questions about this, and you can go ahead and you can press send on that email. We would love
Okay.
to cheer you on for that and
Thank you so.
celebrate with you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. That's great.
I love that. This feels beautiful time. Beautiful time. Beautiful. So, any questions about what what was going on? And Ruth, are you coming to Evolve?
I will when I have a few clients and some money in order to do that.
Well, let me tell you, honey, you deserve to come to Evolve,
Oh,
right? And
yeah.
um, because you deserve to be integrated, my love.
Oh, integrated. I like the sound of that. What does that mean?
Be integrated. So, for those of you that have been to Evolve and are on this call and saw this is so fun. This is so fun. Um, we we have a few little parts. We have a few little parts, Ruth.
Yeah, I know.
Part and given all the information that we learned here today, it makes total sense that 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 your unconscious mind created those parts. They had a purpose, and now it's time to be whole and integrated, just like you said, right? Whole and balanced and wise and connected to your spirit.
Yeah.
Totally.
Mm.
Because that served its purpose in its time. And now it's new time.
Yeah, I like that. Definitely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we're here for you.
One more reason to go out and just get out there.
Yep. And you will. And you will. You're amazing. You have a big mission.
Yeah, I do. I do. I'd like people to jump on the bandwagon. I'd like to create a movement, you know.
Yeah. And I'm also curious, and if there's any questions, if anybody wants to ask any questions, you could feel free to do that. Because you also said, you know, where is it? Oh, so what if you were to just consider, like, what is your definition of support system?
Well, there are various elements. I think personally, I would love a supportive partner, one
Mhm.
who believes in me and, you know, is equal, if you see what I mean. And
Yeah.
then I just there is a friend of mine. She is hugely experienced in leadership, and she's been on that train for like 30 years. And we are talking about the possibility of running retreats for
Yeah.
women over 50, you know, to coach and teach them around leadership and love, and how women can grow into a new role and embrace being a leader, but also learning to love in a different way.
Yeah.
I think, you know, we all have really crappy love stories that we've gathered along the way. And unless you really clean the slate, which is what root cause coaching and the breakthrough does, yeah. And then once you've cleaned the slate, then you have this brand new opportunity to create a new way of loving and relating to somebody, and not just in an intimate relationship, but in day-to-day life. And ultimately, you know, I think men need a bit of help too.
Yes, absolutely. And, you know, whether it doesn't matter what gender you are, it doesn't matter what sexual orientation you are, right? It is where do you find partnership actually, right? Where
Yes.
do you find partnership? And so that support system could be different, right? When you think about business and massive success and you don't have a support system, there might be two different ways that you could create that support system. And they could meet needs differently, perhaps, right? I know you said you didn't want to be pigeonholed. You didn't want to be brought down into one way. You want to have options and possibilities and opportunities. And so consider possibility that you can have support systems in multiple ways. And
Yeah.
even if you're working with women to create partnerships, loving relationships, intimate relationships, right? That doesn't necessarily have to mean that you're a fraud if you don't have a support system in that way.
Yeah, that's really been bothering me. That really has I think that's one of the things that has been holding me back. I thought I'd found somebody that ticked all the boxes, and then I just realized, oh, I'm not in love with him.
Here's the thing, I think, especially when you consider perception as projection.
Yeah.
if you are unable for whatever reason or unwilling for whatever reason to be a supportive partner to yourself,
Yes.
your ability to find that external from you is
Yeah.
limited, especially if you want someone that's your equal. If you don't believe that you are your equal.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a very good point. And thank you for mentioning that, Trina. Definitely. Oh, you're frozen. What's going on? Trina, talk to me. What's going on? I don't know. Is anybody else seeing this, or am I talking to myself? What's going on here? Oh, hi. Hi, you're all here. Oh, that's good. Oh, okay. Looks like Trina's gone. So, I'm not quite sure what to do, but if you have any questions. Oh my God. Oh, well, Trina was just fabulous. I love the way she kind of meandered through things in a very subtle way. Teach us something about relationships. Relationships, it's the foundation of everything, isn't it? It is, unless we know how to have relationships, whether it's a friendship, whether it's an association, whether it's a companion, whether it's a work colleague, or whether it's somebody that you love endlessly. Being yourself, I think, is, for me, at my age, I've come to the realization that you really do have to be yourself, and you have to be vulnerable. And here we are. Oh, Jessica. Jessica to the rescue.
You got me, because
Yes, fantastic.
Trina's internet completely just went out.
Yeah.
So
Oh no.
thank you for being an amazing coachee today. I feel like I was on listening, and I feel like everyone got so much out of your call.
Oh,
And I
good.
love hearing that you're all ready to send out, because I know all the work you've done to be able to be in that space to get get your message out there into the media and stuff like that. So I love that now you're going to do it and you're going to hit send. So since the call is pretty much over and you guys are pretty much wrapped up, I just jumped on to say amazing. And yeah, like I was just going to close us out. So do you have any other questions about anything? And I think everybody really enjoyed your coaching.
I was filling space, filling the void.
I love that. Well, perfect. So I cannot wait. Please, please, please put into either the Activate Facebook group or the Nexus group and tell us all about your, launching. We're here. So I know, like, when Trina was talking about your support and stuff, like Genius Unlocked is your support community until you find that. Well, to me, I heard you talking before, and I'm just going to put my little 2 cents in for a second, is not one person is ever going to fill all your boxes.
Yeah.
And so you have to, my husband's a great support. My son's a great support. I have my parents are great support. And also I have Genius Unlocked. That's a great support. Yeah. So like, it's a community, it's a tribe. So please use us, please come and be in the group more.
Yes, I will. Yeah. Note to self, get more in the GU community. Yes.
Yeah, you have the Activate Facebook group, you have the Nexus group. You can join as an affiliate and come to Unlocking Business calls and all those kind of things. I mean, you have those Unlocking Business calls anyway, but an affiliate, like you could have the affiliate Slack and all that kind of stuff. So please keep coming until you're ready to jump into Evolve.
Yes, I will. Thank you so much. Thank
right.
you, everybody. You're amazing.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you learned and loved this call. And we look forward to seeing you on the next GU call. So, bye.
Bye.